All right, welcome back to another video. Today we are in the Open Greater League, and we want to run a team back that we used last season to see if it is decent in this season. So we got the Shadow Dragonite with the Azumarill and Shadow Sandslash here. So Skarmory in the front is bad. We're going to switch out. We get met with a Whiscash here. This Whiscash is going to be able to take out our Sandslash, but not before we get to a couple of Ice Punches. We're going to shield here so that we can get to this Ice Punch and possibly get to an additional Ice Punch. So our opponent does shield, so that's pretty good for us. We'll take the shield, but they are able to get to another Mud Bomb here. So we're going to double shield at this point and basically double shield, use up some time, and potentially switch out at some point. We do switch out because we know that the Whiscash no longer has Blizzard anymore. And so we force the Skarmory to come back in and try to get to this superpower. Unfortunately, no superpower right there. But we know that this Skarmory is going to have to throw a move. This Skarmory does throw a Sky Attack to take out our Sandslash here. We have this Azumarill. We know that they have no shield. We're going to tank this move right here. If this is the Brave Bird, we're going to try to farm it down. It is the Brave Bird. Our opponent ends up catching us, and they're going to be able to get this Mud Bomb off here. This Azumarill is tanky, and we are going to be able to take out this Whiscash. And unfortunately, this Skarmory comes back in and is already at another move. So, unfortunately for us, not a team that we can beat with this lineup. We did feint on a superpower on our Dragonite, so maybe if we would have somehow gotten that off, it would have made a difference. But on to the next one. Medicham here versus the Dragonite. Pretty good for us. Now, this season, Medichams can know all kinds of moves, so we have no idea what this is running. But we knew that that was only a power-up punch energy, so we didn't shield it. They do shield here, so I guess they're looking to power-up punch their way through this matchup. And our opponent ends up switching out into the Lantern. And this Lantern is met with our Sandslash, as that's the only decent thing we have. And it looks like this is Charge Beam? Charge Beam Lantern, interesting. They decide to let the Drill Run go. And we're going to decide to let this go because we actually have something that we can potentially farm down this Lantern with. And we know that they have the Medicham still. So we're considering what they still have left. Okay, they end up having the Talonflame lurking in the back. So now we know officially our Azumarill is really good against their Talonflame and their Medicham. We decide to let this go because Talonflames no longer are running typically the Brave Bird. So we know that we can survive all moves. We're going to take out this Talonflame immediately. And because we have a shield with our Azumarill and there's the Medicham has no shields, we know we can win this game. So this is going to be GG's. Just go for the Ice Beam and take out this Medicham right there. So it looks like our Azumarill was pretty good core breaker for their Medicham Talonflame situation. And luckily, they switched out into a Lantern and we had the Sandslash waiting for them. All right, next game here. Let's see if we can wiggle out of the next situation. Dragonair versus the Dragonite here. Here, this is kind of a close matchup. We're actually just going to allow them to use a move, one shield, and try to farm down. They go for the Aqua Tail right there, but it doesn't matter. It was pretty much all about one shield farming down. Okay, we go for the superpower and then we switch out. Some neutral damage right there. It's interesting that they haven't switched out, so we're going to assume they don't have a fighter in the back. And then we're going to try to get to another move. They allow us to get to another Ice Punch here. They're going to shield because they have a ton of energy that they're trying to use. The fact that they've stayed in, they are telling us that they don't want to see this Sandslash in the back. And in fact, that is the case. Because we're going to have an energy advantage and we're going to be able to get to this Drill Runner right here, do some decent neutral damage. We get the CAP tie. They go for the Surf here to take us out. And now we have this Azumarill, pretty healthy, and this Jellicent pretty damaged already. We're going to make sure we throw this Ice Beam on optimal timing right before they get to full energy. Both of us are running the 3-turn move, so the actual timing of it doesn't really matter. It's just a matter of when they get to their move. And then our opponent ends up trying to switch out and use our energy, but we are able to farm down that Carbink, and we do have an energy advantage heading into that Jellicent, so we would have been able to win that game. So GG's. On to the next game right there. Carbink, Jellicent, and the Carbink and Jellicent were not looking forward to that Sandslash, so that Sandslash coming in clutch again. There we go. They switch into their Toxapex. Normally, we would have had Registeel in this situation, but we're feeling like Registeel just doesn't do quite as much and to rely on the charge moves. So we decided to switch the team here with the Sandslash, and it's paying off, as this Sandslash is going to be able to dominate that Toxapex. So much so that we end up with a Ice Punch at the end here. We're going to switch and use our Azumarill. Luckily, we just switch out because they had the Charge Bug in the back. They switch into their Charge Bug, which allows us to go into our Dragonite right there. So that was a great call by us. Great call by us using our Azumarill and then forcing them to switch, and then we could counter switch. Otherwise, we would have been in a bad situation in the back right there. This Charge Bug is taking a lot of fast move damage, as you can see here. So much so that they're basically going to invest 2 shields, and now that they know that we shield that, we're going to be able to win that game right there. So GG's to our opponent right there. Can we get another win with this team here? I like the feel of it. Obviously, don't want to see fighters when we have the Sandslash, but so far it looks like we've been winning most leads and forcing them to switch. Pidgeot right here, kind of an interesting matchup. Both of us are staying in, expecting some kind of like ground type fighter with this Pidgeot, right? You can kind of figure out what kind of cores are good with the Pidgeot. So we definitely want to try to win this lead here. So we do shield and farm down. They actually end up having the superior. So looks like they have some kind of like grass flyer core here where you want to stay in, because obviously Dragonite's pretty good against it, but we only really have one counter to this in the back. So we let it go. We can come in with our Sandslash. We don't have to show this first one. And obviously, this Superior does not want to be seen against our Azumarill. We're going to be able to get this Ice Punch right here. We do get a shield from our opponent. Our opponent ends up having to decide to shield another Ice Punch. They do go for the shield. And then now we're just going to shield here and basically figure out what they have in the back. And unfortunately for them, they have the Shadow Glider in the back. They're running some last season teams. This Sandslash does core break their backline and we win. So GG's. Check out this team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.